Yeah, a vegetable heart. Okay, so that was an interesting, we're still focusing on physical properties. What about the difference between an element, a compound, and a mixture? Okay, this is real easy. So, yes, Kanan. So are compounds. Okay, this is the best way, and I teach by using illustrations. Okay, so Andrew is an individual. No one like Andrew. Okay, so I consider Andrew to be an element. Okay, now Andrew eventually is going to meet a girl. Okay, eventually he's going to meet a girl when he grows up, and he's going to want to marry her. Okay, then you have two elements that can interact and react together. Okay, when they react together, they will form a baby. The baby is a compound. Okay, so an element are the individual, the mom and dad. The baby is a compound because the compound is a brand new thing. It's still pure. It's a brand new thing, which has the characteristics of both dad and mom. So AC is a compound compared to mom and dad. What are you trying to tell me, D? Nothing. Why are you doing this? Why are you doing the little hand symbols? Okay, yeah, he's doing some santeria, you know. All right, so Kofer would be a compound compared to his parents. Now, what is Kofer and his wife? Mixture. Why? Because they're together, but they're not one thing. It's still Kofer, and it's still his wife. Now, let me have you learn from Kofer and his wife. There were some things about Kofer that drove his fiancee crazy, but she decided as soon as we're married, I'm going to change him. I'll make him different. I will make him not do that anymore. Now, they've been married for 10 years and their marriage is on the rocks. Why? What has she discovered? You can't change an element. You can live with him, but you really can't change him. All that to say, folks, if there's something that irritates you about your fiance, then when you get married, it'll drive you crazy. Remember that. Remember that, because a mixture is just a mixture. When Andrew marries Penelope, that's the name of his wife, it'll still be Andrew and it'll still be Penelope. They will still have the same physical and chemical properties. Now, they may be together, they may be married, but they're still separate entities. Okay, so what's an element? Let's go back. So what is water made up of? Atoms of hydrogen and oxygen. Water, hydrogen, and oxygen, Andrew's and Penelope's, right? Individual people. Elements are pure substances made of only one type of atom. I like to think that there's only one person there in Andrew Kofer's body. Now, sometimes in human relations, that may not always be the same thing. But let's keep it simple. So, if you're a pure substance, you're only made up of one thing. Oh, you don't have some. Good. Examples of elements? Oxygen, hydrogen. Maddie. Where can you find? There's a bunch more. There's a total of 118. Where can you find this? The best friends front. They discovered a new person. They discovered a new person a few years ago in ORNL, and they named it after us. It's called Tennessee. Yes. Exactly. Isn't that amazing? Because when somebody, yeah, I mean, it's just a chemical reaction. You can have two parents that are complete idiots and they give birth to a child that ends up being a wonderful, great person. What? Yeah, like Stephen Hawking. All right. I don't know if Stephen Hawking had bad parents, but so, or you can actually have two wonderful, wonderful parents that give birth to a person that is a devil child. Yes. So that is very good. He's right. Sodium chloride is a compound. It's a pure substance made of two or more elements that are chemically combined. They're always found in the same whole number ratio. So sodium is a soft metallic element. You can actually take it and squeeze it between your fingers. Of course, if you do that, it's very likely that it's going to react with the moisture in your fingers and give you severe burns. If you were to take a tiny little piece of it, like a rice-sized piece, and put it in your mouth, it would react with the water in your mouth and quite possibly cause an explosion in your mouth. Chlorine gas is a green gas. If you were to take a nice big breath of it, it would kill you. So you have sodium, which is deadly, chlorine, which is deadly. Put it together, and what you have is something that you put on your French fries. You can't really say that it cancels anything out. I mean, because sometimes you can have two safe elements and put them together and you have a deadly compound. The main thing is that what makes up a compound is radically different from the elements that make it up, from the compound itself. Calcium, another explosive metal. Chlorine, deadly gas. Carbon, it's charcoal, black, sooty, powder. Hydrogen, explosive. Oxygen, very reactive. Put them together, it's sugar. You got two or three? Just two or three. You don't have to do them all. Examples is plural, and that means just two would be fine. So, Andrew, no, let's see, oxygen and Andrew together make their child, water. Nitrogen and Andrew together make ammonia, their child. How many elements are found in nature? 90. Not 118. Where did we come up with the other 118? Man-made. How many compounds are there? Over 8 million. So how we combine 90 elements into 8 million is what chemistry is all about. What holds atoms and compounds together? They're called not James Bond, chemical bonds. What do we call the smallest unit of a type of compound? No, because a compound's made up of atoms. We're talking about the smallest compound. Molecules. Molecules. So, water's a compound, but the water that we drink is not a compound. What is it? It's a mixture. What is a mixture? Two or more substances that are combined but each retain their own properties. When you think mixture, you need to think, what other M word did we just talk about? Marriage. Okay, remember that Andrew and Penelope are a mixture, so they are a marriage. Was Penelope able to change the properties of Andrew? No. They each maintain their own unique properties.